Hello, I'm Leslie with the Nutrition Initiative of Manatee, and today we're going to be making Shakshuka. Sounds a little bit crazy, but it's a really delicious Mediterranean dish, and it's great for families. There's a lot of leftovers, and best of all, it's made all in one pot. So there's not a lot of dishes to clean up. It's very easy. It's also very affordable because instead of traditional proteins, there's no real meat included. There's a lot of eggs baked onto the top. Promise it's super yummy and it's gonna save you money. Let's get to it. So we definitely don't need the whole eggplant for this dish. So we are going to slice it lengthways and save that for something else. With this half, the best way to dice it is gonna be to do that same cut right down the middle. That'll ensure we've got equivalent size sections. And then you're just gonna wanna dice it. So the thing about eggplant is it's got a lot of bitter juice in it. So before you get to cooking, make sure you salt it. When you set that aside, the salt will draw out all of those juices for you. So by the time we go to work with it, no more bitter. So same with your onion. We don't really need all of this. We're gonna use about half of it. My favorite way to dice an onion and have equivalent sections by taking your knife, just like with the eggplant, and running it through almost all the way, but you're not gonna quite go through the other side. I'm gonna make 3 slits, and then you're gonna make slits this way. And then you're gonna dice it. Red bell pepper is a must in this dish. A little trick, if you take your thumbs right up at the top, that'll pop through. You can tear it open, discard the seeds. And then if you take your hands, just flatten it. That'll give you a nice flat cooking surface. So for this one, we're gonna do strips. I have 2 cloves of garlic here. You might know this trick. If you don't, it's going to change your life. Peeling a clove of garlic as it is would take forever. So just take any flat surface. You can even use the cutting board. I'm gonna use the knife, just be careful, and give it a couple little pounds, and that will quite literally fall right out of the shell. The other one. Sometimes it'll come out whole, sometimes it's already partially crushed for you. I always take that tip off. Last but not least, and this is certainly optional, but we are going to add some red chili pepper. I like a little bit of heat. If you like the flavor and don't like the heat, you can always take the seeds out. A couple turns of olive oil. So I'm just taking, this is mild Italian sausage, which is probably what's gonna go in the bags for our families. I make a little slit, just popping this out. This is gonna be the meat that we're using for shakshuka, although you can really use whatever meat you have in the fridge. I've seen it done with bacon. You can use ground beef, really anything, but this is gonna go nicely. So I can smell the oil. It's nice and shimmery. I can tell it's ready for me. I'm gonna go ahead and add our meat in there. And as this cooks, it's gonna crumble apart. And now that that's nice and brown, I'm actually going to remove this. And goes our onion, garlic, and peppers. now that these have softened, I'm going to add in the eggplant, which you can see has kind of soaked through the paper towel. That salt took all of the bitter juices out. And in it goes. While this was cooking, I got some water boiling for pasta because we're going to serve this over spaghetti. And make sure to salt that water real good. We're going to add this back in. And then you can really use whatever pasta sauce or marinara or even just crushed tomato that you prefer. For the sake of this meal and budgetary restrictions, we went with a BOGO on marinara, and it's gonna work perfect. You'll never even know the difference. Stir that in and give that just a couple more minutes to come together. So as we get ready to make the pockets for our eggs, we're gonna add in our Kalamata olives. If you don't like olives, you can omit them, but they're nice and salty and they really work well. And then we're gonna add about a half cup of water, and that's just to loosen that sauce up a little bit. And we're gonna make some pockets for the eggs, and we want there to be a little bit of extra juice for some steam. So now the fun part, you get to make little pockets. And I crack my eggs first into a little bowl, just in case there's any shells. It keeps me from taking those right into the pot. Because this is a Mediterranean dish, you can really use whichever herbs you love. I'm gonna use basil and cilantro, but if you have parsley, that's also super common, but I'm gonna dice that up while my eggs are finishing. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's beautiful. So all those eggs are baked in. If you wanna get extra fancy, you can sometimes peel that top off the eggs. And then we've got our fresh herbs here. Lots of that. You can reserve some for each plate. And I like to add some fresh Parmesan. Give a little sharp cheese there. And get ready to serve it up. A few more herbs, a little more cheese. Feeling fancy.